Yeah, picture, sorry.
Yes. Now we have quorum. We're waiting a moment for everybody to be here. Hi, Karen. So this is the June 17th Environmental Sanitation Committee meeting.
I'm not sure.
What is this? Our participant has requested to start AI companion. I mean,
No, you don't want to do that.
who requested? Well, it's okay. It's gone now.
No, it's just me banging all the time.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we hear knocking next door.
Knocking, yes.
We're hearing things, and it's not just the AI.
Right.
Okay. So fine.
Sorry.
We'll leave that as it is. Okay. Welcome. I see who's here. That is roll call. Laura, Emily, Rob. Fantastic. Karen. Great. Has everyone had a chance to look at minutes from May 20th?
Yes, I looked at them. I move we accept them. Am I here?
Motion to approve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Favor?
Yeah. Favorite.
Great. Yes, as written, nothing. I didn't make any mistakes. I don't think. Okay. Great. Chairperson's report. We got lots of things. We got top 311 complaints from DEP because they actually give that to us. Mostly dirty water, no water kind of things, which I feel like go hand in hand because after the water's shut off, it's going to bring up sediment. Before you have to run it and kind of, then people are like, oh, why is it brown? That's probably why.
Right.
Other things, but like nothing crazy at least. I mean, that will be in there. I'll cut out that one page instead of giving you, unless you want to see the entire Bronx.
Yeah. No.
But I guess according to Effie, for our area, things like the sewer leaks are less. She says that this is not an area where that's a real big problem. It doesn't really,
Right.
It's not a big thing. So good, because people were concerned that was maybe increasing,
Right.
Getting worse or anything like that. I support all of the Scoop Act stuff, all 5 things to combat dog waste in the city. I thought maybe Riverdale Press was going to write something about it. If they do, cool. I don't get it to read all the time. They interviewed me, and we talked about it, but I never then saw.
They didn't.
I don't know. It's possible.
It just takes
Or it takes a while. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, they're waiting for something else.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
With that, but
Oh.
all great. And
It
we're
was
gonna.
here.
Oh, okay.
It's in the June 5th. You want me to email it to you?
Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. So neat. Yeah. So exactly. That's good. We want all of those things. And the board has printed signs. This is not them. But dog waste signs that were in the last minutes that I finally saw the design, and then we're going to have those to give out for people to put up wherever they possibly can.
Here you go.
Not as graffiti, but on your property or somewhere that makes any sense for just
Right.
like be a good neighbor after your dog.
Right.
CBA.
Does anybody else want this article?
I mean, send it to all of us, or it'll go in the minutes. It'll go to everybody.
Here you go.
I read a sad article today that more sanitation workers are getting pricked by needles as people are
I
using
saw that
the LP ones and things. Yeah,
Wow.
because then they act like instructions never talk about what to do with a needle, but get a sharps container and put your needles in that.
Yeah.
For years, and then eventually throw it out, or some other.
Go on a diet and throw away your needles.
Yeah.
Well, just properly dispose of the little needles. I mean, they're this big.
Well, the razor blades, when I was younger, razor blades came and there was a place in the razor blade case to put the used blades, and also in every medicine
I
cabinet.
mean, there is on my razors.
Slot.
Yeah, it's like a 5-pack. I use them up. They go back in that thing, and I throw away that cartridge.
And these GLP people are making, billions. They should be able to give you something.
Whoever's prescribing it to you should give that to you.
Yeah.
Like when you get, that's a common thing. They'd say,
No,
do you need needles? Do you need alcohol wipes? Do you need Band-Aids? Do you need a sharps container? Like the pharmacy should be giving that to you for, a few dollars. But apparently that has actually been going up. So don't do that. That's bad.
But scale with a view on the wall, so because you can't see it because your stomach is in the way.
But do put your garbage in the wheeled New York City bins as of June 1st. you're supposed to,
Mhm.
but they're just gonna warn you until I think like September.
Yep.
Right.
So, do it if you want for now. Put it in a container. Ideally, the New York City containers if you can get them,
Yeah.
because you'll get a warning now. In theory, I have not gotten one yet, but now that I've said it, maybe they'll send it to me. Because I haven't rolled out my other one yet, because I want to know what a warning is. Anyway, for educational purposes for everybody. Related to the dog waste thing, now I guess maybe we're going to get notifications whenever there's overflow. Was that not the case already?
It wasn't adequate. It wasn't adequate. It wasn't a good enough, like they put it up on a webpage. Now they really have to like make it known so that people can find it.
I mean, that makes sense. Great.
Yeah.
Right, but
Maybe that will embarrass them into fixing it more.
They would keep you from swimming, they would post signs and all that.
Well, that's why
mean,
I said, I was like, like they said they could appeal it. I'm like, oh no, they're not going to appeal it. They're going to do the right thing and do it right, because they want people, it's about the public's health, right? And so we'll see what happens.
Exactly. All right, do that. That's even on the agenda. Okay. Mostly that stuff. So fine. Done. So right, we had joint meeting Broadway corridor people between DOT, MTA, Sanitation, MTA, all of the representatives' offices. Eric was on the call, as was Karina Sanchez. Someone from Carmen De La Rosa's office was at least listening. So credit, even though this is like the worst part is like actually hers, I think, right there on Broadway, maybe at the bottom. But and from that we got responses immediately. Certain things, they put up signs up at 242nd saying businesses are open, saying what they are. They maybe did one little cleanup down the street. They put crossing guards and traffic people at like all the left turns along Broadway where there's like the big curtains and you absolutely can't see where to go, at least during the day. At night, you still can't see where you're going. In fact, you don't even get the left turn signal at, I think, 228 or whatever. It's covered. So guess when the cars stop, it's time to go. But certain things, they responded with a whole list of different things that they are working on doing it. Like, we're going to put up new bird netting at 231st, or, certain other things. More accountability. They're going to remove some of the construction materials. So they're trying. They're going to do some more things. And they gave a whole big list, and I'll include that, of their like official response of all the different things they're doing.
I'm impressed you got the
That's like
MTA there. I'm impressed
What?
that you got the MTA there. That's all I have to say.
Well, so the MTA showed up and basically just for 10 minutes of the like half an hour meeting, whatever, they gave a little like apology presentation of like, well, we clean up after and we're doing this and that and the other thing. So then in response to that, we gave them photos kind of countering the things that they're not doing and being like, oh, you're supposed to clean up the trash. Well, what about all of these collections of trash against your equipment that are just like piling up? And maybe they're being better now.
And
they're
the
now
pigeons
claiming
and the
they're gonna do-
pigeons at 231st Street, right?
They're gonna what? They're doing. What do you mean?
There's the pigeons up on the thing and 231st Street. It hits people's head.
Yes, they
So
are.
they wanted a
replacing
net
that.
there. They've been
That
doing
is a
that for
mistake.
like years.
Yeah, no, they're restoring all the nets, but they have to take them all down
Okay.
because they're doing the like power wash. They're blasting and resurfacing or painting all of the elevated tracks.
Okay.
Is this like that's what those curtains are? Is to like
Ah.
isolate what they're doing to spray them and then to paint them, and then they'll like keep moving that up the line.
Right.
And then, but yes, on this email, on this list of things, is replacing the netting at 231st specifically. But
Right.
I mean, I would assume also at 238
Right.
because it's like full of
Right.
probably birds at this point. But it's weird because, and this is a question for people who have been here longer than I have. Was there ever netting at 225th? Because looking back to like as far back as I could go on Google Street View, like there's not like 2007. I didn't ever see it.
Google Street View goes back at 2007.
I think so. Yeah. There's like one bad view. That's
I
like,
think you have to ask for it.
well, but I also don't feel like I'm as bothered by the birds there as like.
I was going to say it's pretty high. Maybe it's different, a different
So
situation.
it's like
It's not the birds.
it's the net.
No, it's what happens, what birds do. You
Oh,
wanna walk
right.
underneath there and bird droppings come on your head. It's
Well, but that's gonna happen no matter what.
right. But that's what people are
But
looking.
you look, I look, you know, you look up a little bit and down.
That was the district manager. What was Pat's list?
But it just right. It doesn't.
That man.
Manning. Pat Manning. When she was district manager, going back many years, she was working to get something done about pigeons at 231st Street and the droppings and the nettings. That's how far back this problem goes.
Oh, yeah, my son, who's 53 years old, when he was in high school, he was going to Manhattan. He at 231st Street would get
Oh no, I
Drop
see. No,
them.
this email is all of our responses, right, to their meeting.
Yeah.
These are all the points of these are the things you should work on, and they have right. They've already started responding to these things, many of them, which is fantastic. And I guess we're
So did you notice that the councilman is in the room?
yes.
yes.
Okay.
The chair recognizes Councilmember Denowitz if he wants to say anything. I don't know, or he's just listening. That's cool too.
Yeah, mostly listening. I'm obviously I'll just share at that meeting we had about that corridor. I was there at the meeting and really, if anyone was there knows that I pressed the MTA on a number of issues, a number of commitments they made that they haven't followed through on. But certainly I think the number one thing was might have been the bird poop.
Right,
that
right.
netting. This is our health and our quality of life. So of course it has my support and my office's support to make sure the corridors cleaned up and the businesses that are blocked with the construction get the signage that they deserve. And I appreciate the community board coming prepared with all those pictures and all the things for the MTA to see that they somehow don't see in the normal course of their work somehow.
Oh, exactly. Well, it's because it's all contractors, of course.
Well, they hire the contractors. I don't know. So it's kind of their responsibility.
Right. Right.
I also came. Sorry, I'm in the car. You can see me. Okay. I had also come on. I know the neighbors, my friends on Arlington Avenue or in the 254th Street area. I know it's the next item, but since I'm recognized, so I might as well mention it now that they're experiencing not only neglect from the DOT, which I know I and my predecessor and my predecessor's predecessor have all been wrestling with potholes, dangerous situations, but also the severe flooding there. And just want to share with you that they all have my support to address the severe flooding they're experiencing from just regular rain events, from nothing special. And it's causing real, I think, safety and quality of life concerns as well. So those neighbors there on Arlington Avenue have my support as well.
Yes. So on to that, actually, right. So we've had letters. We've talked about this many times, and in the context recently of new developments around there and concern that will only exacerbated, or just that they're to know what they're kind of going into when they're building, because I'm on land use as well, and that all got approved. I think that the most recently approved development will improve it vastly, because they're going to retain all of the water on that whole property now, which was not happening before. It was all flowing off. So anything that flows through their property and lands on their property is now going to get retained underground and slowly released, reducing the burden on the rest of the street and the ground around them, at least as much as their footprint compared to before, which is all now required under City of Yes stuff and universal stormwater rules. But regardless of that, I spoke with DEP and asked them about possible underground streams. I eventually found a map myself, an old historical map that actually covers up to here. And it's extremely impossible to know if there was really, or some part of a stream here or there. It's not obvious or clear, but it's also not necessarily mapped or ever noticed. It could have, necessarily only things like Tibbetts Brook, and then there's like two little lines. I'll find the image. It's gigantic. But
I have a map if you want, I can bring it up, which is by the USGS, and it has all the little streams that we don't see. And I could show you that there's really nothing there that I could show it to you, but there is
I just made you co-host if you wanted to share it. If not, we
okay.
can.
All right, I have to look it up. And I'll keep
Okay.
talking.
Okay, perfect. So right. So I asked DEP about it and if they could look into that. They said that unfortunately there's no agency in New York City that has jurisdiction over underground streams. A lot of stuff I looked at all referred to this one map of Manhattan, acting like what people want to know about underground streams. They go to this old map, and it is the only one, and it's the best one, and it's good enough for like when discovering like things before they build. But she said that we should talk to the New York State DEC because they regulate activities that disturb beds and banks of protected streams and water courses. Maybe. Or check with Department of Buildings to see if they have rules pertaining to construction on underground streams. Otherwise, she checked Arlington Ave, West 252nd, 254th, is all connected through the city sewer, but it's had minimal 311 complaints regarding sewer conditions. And so if you are experiencing, actual sewer conditions, 311 it more because she acts like this area, not so much.
You mean backups?
Yeah.
Or flooding?
Backups. Flooding would be a different thing.
Different.
But for flooding, at the moment, the best way, everyone there should find a good, no parking sign that is near somewhere where it always floods and request it as a flood net sensor. Because they're still putting out flood net sensors. I've seen a couple in our district now. So they have come over here and put them in. And I think we had encouraged, and I put in locations last year and then told people to do that. Because that allows them to gather information about how frequently areas are flooded. Otherwise, it's sort of hearsay, or if you 311 it, at least there's a dot there, but like times someone comes out, it might not be flooded anymore. But at least if it's like, unless you're sitting there 311 every single time it floods, the flood net sensor is going to get it for every little downpour and you'll see it. Okay.
I wouldn't call 311 if I had sewer backup.
Well, but that.
I call 911.
Well, the 311 because it has to go to DEP and DEP will come right out.
Yeah.
They're the ones that'll help you.
I'd also call a plumber.
So
okay, you're saying that yes, 311 because they do not see very many 311s there. And then for the otherwise, as far as the issues with private sewers, for any new development, DEP requires sewer certification. The architect must submit an application proving the existing sewer can handle the additional sanitary and stormwater discharge. DEP checks the connecting sewer downstream infrastructure. If it's insufficient, the project may require on-site detention, sewer extensions, or other mitigations. There's new regulations to mandate stormwater management, including retention first approaches, which, the temple was using and utilizing nicely. And that's that. Okay. So, Karen, thank you. Map.
okay, so it's 252nd and Arlington, like around here, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so here's Blackstone, here's 252nd. And so there's a stream here, there's streams here, these are little streams. You wouldn't even know where the streams are, and so I don't have a stream from USGS. That doesn't mean there's not one like there, but I don't have that. But I didn't get the outfalls on the Henry Hudson Parkway. So I don't know if the Henry Hudson Parkway outfalls for rain are going into areas. I know it's going into some of the areas down by Alderbrook, but I never saw it happening over here. I would suspect that that might be a problem because you got this big high area here, and then the topography is not great. You know, it's just all going into one area. Um, I'm not saying I have a solution. I'm just saying I don't think there's a stream there. Now, somebody might have,
Yeah, okay, so we'll start with just at the top here, Jeff, though maybe you're not Jeff.
oh, I can't see who's talking. Okay.
Hi, I'm not Jeff. Jeff's my husband. I'm Daniela. Um, oh, am I still, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so I live on Arlington Avenue between 252nd and 254th. And I do really appreciate that this is on the agenda. I've been living here for 20 years. And over the last 6 years, 7 years, it has progressively gotten worse. The flooding, I know you mentioned that the new property will maybe improve the situation, but that is just one area. That's not even necessarily the worst area of flooding. The worst area of flooding is more towards the middle of the block. And part of that, and again, I don't really, I don't study this, but from my perspective, the condition of the street is such that there is nowhere for the water to go, and it just pools in these humongous potholes. We've never had our street paved. We've only had it, patched up. We have huge craters. We have erosion on either sides. And it's not just something that happens on the side of the street where you could put a no parking sign. It comes into the middle of the street where it's impossible to drive. And these are areas also where it is so narrow and we have parking on both sides of our street now. And so there's nowhere to go. You're going through like a pool of water with your car. And it's spread.
Is it a private street?
So it's not it's unclear. From what I understand, it's a semi-private street. I don't even know what that means, but I don't know, maybe someone else from my block, I see a few other people here could speak to that. But it has gotten progressively worse, and every time it rains, it can be a trickle. It is a mess. It's a mess. And it's especially in the summer with mosquitoes breeding in there. And this is a walking street. There's a lot of people walking through to the train, to Wave Hill, people going to school. It's now become a through street for a lot of the cars and buses that are going to and aside from the condition of the street, which I think really contributes to it, the water issue is really impossible. So I don't think this other property is going to solve that. I mean, maybe it'll clean up something along, that area, but it's not going to solve the bulk of the issue. So I'll let
No, I just think it won't negatively affect it. It at best or at worst, it'll be fully neutral and it'll be exactly the same, except they didn't make it worse, at least. It's like,
Right.
And ideally, maybe they make it a little better because actually the roof is larger, and so they're capturing more rain first that would have before just, washed right off the property. Now, whether that's a private street or not is a real good question for getting it repaved, of course.
We have tried over the years, and we were told that they would not repave. I mean, we do get our garbage picked up. We get potholes filled in, which don't last more than a month. But we've never been able to get it paved. We've been told we can't, and it is in desperate need. I mean, it's unsafe. There are trees that are roots
If
are
it's a private
exposed.
street, what's the process for getting those repaved in Riverdale?
I think you guys have to chip in.
Yeah, right. I don't think we're private. I think we're a weird category, is what I understand, because we are. I forget what the term is, but we're used by all. It's not like a Fieldston private street. We are like a thoroughfare. So we're not. I don't think we're considered private, but we're also not public because we don't have sidewalks and we're not entitled to paving. So.
And you don't have drains, and you don't have drains either, right?
No drains, nothing,
Do you
nothing.
know if you do you know if you have a high water table?
I don't know, maybe
Or
Jeremy,
are you
we can talk to, I mean, I don't know about that. I imagine maybe, I don't know, to be honest.
or on high bedrock?
There are
We do?
no sewer
I
drains
think we do.
on
I think we do.
Arlington
Not on private streets.
because they have. There's no stormwater drains.
I don't think so.
It's just meant to run down the street, down the hill, and into the Hudson.
No, it's supposed to run into the properties. Like, there would be something on the properties that would take it. Who knows,
They're not gonna get the
Yeah.
water from the street.
Right.
I don't
There's
know.
still going to always be the river that is the street as soon as it rains. Jeremy's iPhone.
Yes, hi. Thank you for calling on me. I'm Daniela's next door neighbor. So I'm facing a lot of the same issues. The pooling that we're dealing with is a full block away from the new construction and the synagogue and all that's going on. And I'd say it spans more than half the street. It comes out probably it covers 2/3 of the street and is about 50 feet long. As I've been seeing it, this pool. And in the winter, it really led to a lot of potholes being developed. We had a really bad road condition. But my understanding is that this started, I've only been living here 4 years. I'm told that about 6 or 7 years ago, one of the utilities did some work on the street and maybe it was pitched differently or it was sealed or something happened. And ever since then, we've had a big issue with this. It's not like a little bit of water, it's like a small lake. I think Chuck has spoke to it in other meetings. He's brought it up and he's the one who pushed it over here. Um, but yeah, this is I don't know if somehow we can get a drain installed or a dry well. This is not a private street. It's definitely a city owned street because we don't have control over the parking. We've tried.
Are there signs on your street for parking?
No, there are no parking signs on our street.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Right, that means it's not.
No, and they've been requests. I mean, there's nothing we can do. I can't really speak to the DOT or what they want to do about that, but we're also not allowed to put them up. So
It's private, and they just have to pay. That's the only answer.
So I don't know,
I'm sorry, what was that?
so if it's a DOT thing, are we gonna do this or is that going to the
Well,
transportation?
we have to ask if it is even a DOT thing because if it is truly a private street, then that's different.
Let me see if I can look
And,
up.
or if it's confused, then someone needs to clarify so that then anyone knows what is supposed to be appropriate. Melissa, we'll move on for now. Or here, you can unmute.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing this item to the meeting this evening. So I also live on Arlington at 5220. We live next door to the proposed synagogue, as well as across the street from the other project that is on the table as well. So first of all, and this is coming from a place of being naive, which has been my fault. I didn't even know that 311 calls were appropriate for flooding issues on private properties. So we've had at least 4 severe floodings of our basement, and we have had raw sewage, come through our bathroom in the basement. I think it is a bit naive to think that the new proposed properties that will be built will help this problem. I think it will exacerbate the problem. The issue is that as both Daniela, as my neighbors just recently, spoke about, there are no storm drains on the street. So I would say we've lived on the street for 10 years now. it has gotten, the rains over the last 6-7 years have gotten significantly worse with the weather patterns. And there is the homes that are next door to us, the two homes that are next door to us, have also had sewage coming through. So if we're talking about adding, you know, a synagogue with 100 and that it has capacity to hold 150 additional people, and we're bringing in one or two more homes across the street, I don't know where all this water is going to go. One particular structure cannot fix all of the issues with all the flooding that is all over the street. It is not safe to drive on the street, as Danielle was just talking about. It pools in the middle. And Jeremy was discussing this as well. I think that there needs to be, I really feel strongly that there needs to be engineers that are brought out to actually assess what's going on, because that has not yet happened.
Okay, so yes, definitely report flooding and even more so sewer backups to 311. Those get forwarded to DEP.
And the
their
damage,
response when I
and
asked
the
them about
damage.
this was they are not aware of any DEP related issues at this location.
Yeah,
Right.
I
They
understand
don't have
that
the
in that.
reports of it. To
Yes.
them, everything's fine, which, you know, is ideal if that's true. And if it isn't true, like you need the paper trail to show them how often it's flooding. That's also why everyone should put in FloodNet requests on there if there aren't ones around. Because exactly, if it's constantly pooling, then the sensor will show it is flooded, and that will be a data point that it's flooded 1 minute after it starts to rain, you know, for this much rain every single time, then that's something to work on versus an area that, like, you know, it floods when we got, you know, an inch of rain in an hour or something. But, you know, the downpour last week, whatever that was, wasn't even that much. It was
And then,
of
and
it.
then they should they should make a report if you had damage. You should make a report to the controller's office. There's a form.
Exactly, and as long as you have the 311, you have, you know, and if DEP, you know, comes out,
Yeah.
they accept that, they work to fix it, they admit, like, you know, something was the problem there. And right, for sewer backup things, I mean, that's definitely DEP, and that's how they get it. That's how,
Right.
that's one of the things I just passed around. It'll be in the minutes, the list of all the 311s that DEP gets. It's not a high one though.
But they do need study to see if
Mhm.
somehow regrading the
It
street
might be
and the angle, if that's previously it was better, and then, you know, a utility came out and changed the grading and the slope and this and that, for the worse. I mean, the whole street, it needs to be studied.
Well, but I think what we should do is we ought to speak to the DOT commissioner for the Bronx. And maybe the councilman could help us to put together a meeting so that these people can express themselves.
right.
But you have to find out whether we're supposed to do it or if transportation's supposed to do it. I don't know, like, what we're doing here.
Right.
See,
Exactly.
if we
Well,
were
but
told.
even if it's a private street, would DEP? I mean, DEP wouldn't put in storm drains or manage the
I
stormwater.
don't believe so. I don't believe so.
We don't know.
I think
enough.
they said no, but
Okay, so that's
Can you
Okay.
repeat how to request the FloodNet sensor again? Could you repeat that?
I'll
gonna-
have to post the link. If
I'm
you
gonna
put the
look it
link
up. I'll look it
Yeah.
up. I'll look it up for you. Okay.
in
I have-
one of the past minutes earlier this year, we had posted the link, but I can find it again. But there's a form to basically you just fill out the address, and because they have the money, they have sensors, they just need more places to stick them, and they basically affix them to existing, like DOT, you know, the poles with the
they don't
holes.
have it.
You know, DOB.
We don't have any of those signs.
DEP
Any?
said.
That's what they said.
None. Not one, not one.
There are other things they can attach them to, though. So you can.
It's floodnet.nyc.
Hmm.
And in there you can find how to put in a request.
DEP said that we need to go to DOB with these problems.
Well, no, they said New York State DEP.
DEP, but also, wasn't it that DOB can't sign off if people's water is not being, you know, I mean, as part of their permitting process? I thought I heard you say something about DOB, but maybe.
Oh, what we had said was that we feel the DOB should have a checkbox for
Okay,
confirming
But
the
that hasn't
condition, but
happened.
that doesn't exist.
Okay, but that is something we need.
That's a suggestion to.
That was what DEP told us. What we told DEP we wanted, and they said go to DOB.
Yeah, because DOB is
Right,
approving these.
That was
without
last
that.
month, okay.
Right.
So we don't have these people's names to have a meeting with them again, or we could do it at our next meeting, which I don't know when, that's not gonna be until September, so.
I mean, Department of Building stuff is usually housing committee, right?
Or land use.
Land use.
Or land use, really. It goes back to land use, because right, that's a suggestion, maybe that's a land use suggestion,
Mhm.
and I think it is. And
I
that's,
think
so
it's
I'm bringing
land use.
that back to Chuck at
Yeah.
land use is what we're doing.
I wrote them.
I think I was even supposed to email him. So.
But I think somebody has to talk to the,
Now that I think about it,
No, no.
yes. Well, because I brought it up at the meeting and he was like, "Oh, email me about that." Because no, I'm bringing this up at land use, and we're gonna for next session we're gonna suggest this as a change. Where as part of the initial new building or change of occupancy applications to DOB, that you have to verify if you have a city sewer connection, if you have a contractor pipe, like what that is, and that it's, capable,
Adequate.
that it's adequate for what you're wanting to do. Because you can't just assume that because it was okay for a single family that suddenly.
but nevertheless, that building, those buildings are gonna go up because they've been like sort of approved. I mean, is that gonna be something written into the conditions of the approval? For the land use committee?
I mean, this would be an idea for the future.
I know,
Yeah,
but that's
but-
not gonna help them. They have a problem now.
Yeah, but I don't understand
Hey.
what the buildings have to do with what's in the street. That's what I don't understand. Okay, if the water is on the street and that's the problem, and that's going into the houses, they have to fix the street. The street needs to be fixed. so
Unless
that-
it's a private street.
I know, so it still needs to be
Fixed.
Okay.
handled in some way.
Engineered, it needs to.
They need to
Eric?
crown it, do
Sorry.
something.
Okay. Eric's. hand.
Hi, everyone. Just to chime in a few things. One is I just want to make sure that if you talk about the new building, I think that's important and their stormwater capture. But as Karen kind of beat me to the punch, they're dealing with this. These neighbors are dealing with an issue now that I think won't be solved by stormwater capture from a new development. Just to clarify, the street it's not owned by the DOT, and we've been through this with them. Not just on this street. I know the board has been through this with them on a number of streets in those areas west of Henrietta Parkway and south of 254th and north of 246th, east of Palisade. Like DOT doesn't want to touch them. Nevertheless, I think it is worth having a meeting like with the stakeholders at the table. I'm sure the board can set that up with the borough commissioners of DEP and DOT. And if they're having trouble, again, I stand ready to help organize that if the board has trouble with that with getting them a response from them.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. But if it's in that case, right, if it's truly not a DOT street and it's a private street, then the residents of Arlington Avenue, would you like to repave your street? Because
Well, it's so just to clarify, I think the term is undedicated. I mean, it's not. I believe it's not owned by anyone. It's not owned by the homeowners and it's not owned by the city. I just to let the people on this call know, I think I let them know, but I'll let the board know. I am trying to work on legislation that would help clarify some of this stuff and make sure that these residents who are paying taxes, and again, it's that whole area, like all over the SNAD, that whole area west of the Parkway, the street conditions are awful. The previous chair of traffic and transportation, Sylvina Brooks Powers, said it felt like driving in a third world country. That's how she described it. Excuse me. So
it's quaint. It's country living.
yeah, that's how DOT would describe it. But anyway, I while I'm working on the legislation, which has been really, really tough, it's been really tough because of like They're saying we may have to do ULURPs to get the DOT to even be allowed to pave it.
What was involved in putting in the sidewalks and like basically dedicating?
At SAR?
Yeah.
Ones where we still don't have sidewalks?
Right, 254th or whatever. But like the process to get to the point now where anything is
You mean
actually
the ones
needed.
where we're just waiting for a kid to get hit by a car?
But I thought they were
So
gonna do.
Melissa has her hand up.
So
I'm
I
just,
just want to make a
We're
comment
just-
about
we're
the
Yes.
just make a quick
DEP.
Sacrifice and then we'll get sidewalks.
I thought they were doing.
go
I
ahead,
just want
Melissa.
to mention
There's
something
still
about
sidewalk.
DEP.
Take a drive.
Right, but the plan.
Go ahead.
You have to have sidewalks.
Melissa wants to talk.
Okay, sorry, Melissa.
DEP was actually out here. They did a dye test, which basically is a test that checks where the sewer flows to the new properties that are being proposed. What the individuals that were from DEP strongly suggested that we have engineers come and do an assessment of the street because they personally did not feel that the street could handle any more traffic because of the mess that it already is. And they felt that the engineering department should actually do a very comprehensive study of the street.
Private
Which
engineers or
engineering
city
department?
engineers?
Which engineering
DEP
department?
they didn't specify, they just used the engineering department. They did
Well,
not
that's the
specify.
problem, depending on if it's an undedicated.
Okay, so
street.
you know what I think you guys should do? If you could possibly get together and collect some money and hire yourselves an engineer to just do a beginning to identify the problem thing while the community board tries to set up a meeting with the DOT to figure how to solve it. And then I also think that there could be some like simple things that you could do, like bioswales to capture the water in a different way. I mean, if everybody does something, it might make a change. And because I don't know that we're going to be able to solve this problem like 1, 2, 3. You need like a short-term and a long-term plan. And you have to come together as a community group so that you can solve this problem.
I'm sorry, I just want to jump back in. I think that's great, but we don't own the street. We can't make changes to the street. It's not a private street. It's an undeclared street or something. We're not able to put up no parking signs. We're not able to make alterations to the street itself. So this falls on somehow back on the city, something that they did 6 or 7 years ago that created a flooding issue. So this really has to fall on the city, telling the homeowners to start a collection to fix it up isn't. We're not an HOA. We don't have an HOA.
Okay.
If we're going to be an HOA, then we're gonna take the street and we're gonna own the street and we're gonna put up no parking signs and it's gonna be no through traffic. And that's not New York City, and that's not what the city wants.
So I'm just
I mean,
suggesting
it's parts, that's what Fieldston does.
Well, we had this discussion with the councilman
But
and
you can't park and they handle it. They pave it, they snow plow it, they street sweep it.
no, but they don't want to do that.
Sanitation goes in there and collects their trash still. Fire department will respond to you, Con Ed. It's like you're still in the city, but they
so
handle.
that's the suggestion is we should privatize. You want us to privatize the street? That's
No, that's not what,
We're just saying that
what anybody
if
said.
that's-
Wait a minute. That's not what
There are
anybody said.
different models that we're talking about. We're not telling you what to do. We don't have the information.
I know.
Really?
We need a drain.
Right. So I'm already wrote my note that I'm going back to DEP to ask what their policy is on adding stormwater drains to undedicated streets. Because you're not
Amazing.
claiming that the street is anybody's. It's more like, well, you're the people who handle stormwater runoff and drains. Could that be a place where you add them if they truly don't exist, which must help if they don't exist. Having them would help more than not having them.
So
And
you guys
maybe that would
you
get rid
should
of some
put
parking
your
spots,
name.
too.
Does the community board have your names? The community board office?
I mean, I wrote down Jeremy's iPhone.
I know, but we don't know how to get in touch with them because we don't have a chat. So you have to call the board or
Right,
at
no,
some point.
email the board office your contact information,
Right.
is the best way. is do
And
it
the
through
board and the
email,
board
you know,
office will
community.
be making the appointment to talk to the
EXE.
agent.
Emily, Emily's on this committee?
Yeah, I'm here.
Emily, can we send you our contact, a list of contact information?
Yes, or just send it to Emily.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll get you a
Yeah.
list of names and addresses.
But yes, yeah, exactly. Because right,
So-
yes, they give me addresses because it's better too when I'm talking to DEP.
Yeah,
I
Jeremy.
just give them the block. She's like that area, but if it's like specific addresses, it's easier to. I mean, also it's easier. She'll check the 311.
And you will all, somebody will come to the meeting with the agency to find out what's going on?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have somebody come. We have a little group started.
Okay, so because the community board office is probably going to do it, we're not meeting again until September, as I told you before. So,
Okay.
Meeting at the whole board, so we can talk about this in front of everybody a little bit, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
solving the problem is not going to happen right away. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Look, it's been here for years. I'm glad
Yeah.
that it's getting some attention.
Yeah, I also think that I don't know if specifically if is it worse on Arlington in the last 6 years than it's been worse everywhere for the past 6 years, because I feel like we've had more big intense rainstorms in the last 6 years than I remember before that as well.
I think the road condition got worse over the last 2 years, and it really began to exasperate
Yeah,
as we've had pothole work done, because I think the street is sinking a little bit in the middle because of erosion from all the water and
So that
the
makes sense.
and
had-
the way the
rough on
the
everything.
ice is making it
When
buckle
road
in the winter.
flooding, it's gonna be even worse
we've
if
had
the water
cave-ins
thing.
and just it's not that the rain has been worse, but like I said, I live right in front of this big flooding area. It doesn't have to rain hard for this thing to fill up. It's not about the weather.
Was there any
Well-
new building on the block?
It's about the weather because the weather's causes it. But right, exactly. It's not.
No, but I mean, it's not
worse,
because-
not
right.
because of the weather being worse. It's worse even with a little rain. I
Exactly.
understand. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and if there's no drains, I mean, there's pool. I see pool in other places too, where there are drains, but maybe like a pothole or something, prevents a part of it from reaching that drain. But if you have no drains and no gutters, no good.
No, my
currents, I mean, I know
my
it's
daughter
possible too,
my
but
daughter will put on her rain
you
boots
go into
and
the ground.
my daughter will put on her rain boots and go through it. It's a pool up to her knees sometimes.
Do you have any trees on the block?
Yeah.
Are they in good condition? Are they in good condition?
No, there is, well, along the edges of the street, there's a lot of erosion because the street has never been cared for. And so there are a lot of trees that have exposed roots and are leaning. Some have fallen. We have a tree that belongs to the city. We've asked a number of times to have it. Every time we get wind or a storm, a huge branch falls and hits a car. Like the trees along the edges of the street, many of them are not in good condition, but there's nothing holding them in. The sides of the street fall in. There's like a lot of erosion because, sorry about that.
Do you have pictures?
I mean, we've been collecting pictures for various, different things, and we could probably get some, and take more for sure.
Yeah, otherwise you have to have a meeting at the site.
Do you have even an informal block association?
We have a WhatsApp group, and we're all very much aligned and on the same page. Everybody feels strongly about getting some improvements made. We're not a quiet
It's
street.
helpful in dealing with the agencies.
Yeah,
And whatnot to say with the Arlington Avenue 250. We're an block association. It's
Right.
just I think it's helpful.
You just say you are and you are.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
that's-
make-
Like that's it. Your WhatsApp group, rename it Block Association. There you
Right,
go.
and use that contact
The name of
information,
your
and
block.
just call it a name,
Yes.
you know, you take.
Well, I wish it was that easy at the apartment association, but my understanding is that it's very involved.
It's
I'm
what?
sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
No, I like over the years, various neighbors have brought up this idea of forming an association and privatizing the street, but it seems like a pretty involved process.
No,
But, I
just
mean,
become
forming an
a
association
community
is
group.
separate. Forming
Just
an
become a- yeah,
association, you're
right.
not sure what it will expedite and help you communicate with elected officials, agencies, the community board. It shows a certain unity, it gives you an identity, and other blocks have done
It
it,
doesn't
and
cost
it's been
anything to do
helpful. It doesn't
Just
cost anything
call
to
yourself
do.
something, and then it'll be
Yeah.
like
Right,
the
No, it's a great idea.
Say Arlington Avenue.
Don't open up a bank account because they'll drive you crazy. Just whatever,
need that.
you don't need.
You don't
that.
need it because we
You
have
need an identity.
internet now, right? Yeah.
You need an identity, and it's been helpful to other streets that I'm aware of. And how active or not active, that remains to be seen. But I think that
In my development, we have, Vinmont Road is behind us and it's private. And the neighbors, they pay, they pool their money and they get it plowed. They do get sanitation, does go up there, but for street plowing and to have the street repaved, they've done it themselves. They've got together, one neighbor takes the lead and hires the person and everybody reimburses them. And, it's not cheap, but it's,
but you have some serious problems.
yeah.
Well, and if there's
And
legislation coming to maybe help the city take those over or take any responsibility over them for certain things, that sounds
But
maybe
we
good. I
have
mean,
to
that's
get-
the goal of that, right?
But
I
we
mean,
have,
is the
we
idea
can get a definitive.
is to have a method for the city to sort of.
From the agencies on what is your process or not non-process for the
Well,
status
exactly, like
of
who
that street.
paved it the last time? It was
That's
paved.
what I'm saying, that,
And how did it even get repaved when that happened?
We have to get information.
Because DOT has like schedules, they repave roads every however
but
many
only the ones
years.
that are on their maps.
Well, right, exactly. But I'm saying they
This
do
is
them
not
and they
the
know like this summer they're gonna repave 230th, from
They-
Riverdale Ave over to
But
Broadway.
this is not a street. What do they call it? Undeveloped,
Undedicated. But
Undedicated.
the thing is, when it got
and there's a
paved
whole bunch of
together,
undedicated streets.
There's so many of them over there. Because that's a lot of all around Wave Hill to
Yeah.
Riverdale. That's
That's why they have private sewer.
and some of them are private sewer. Their street has DEP sewer connections.
Mhm.
She said for like all of it. All those houses are DEP, so there is sewer pipe in that street,
Okay, so,
But there's no,
but
there's no,
apparently not stormwater. So it might not be big enough, or that would be a second pipe.
So not
no,
sanitary.
we
So
should tell them they
what-
have to do it.
making the
If they have to
sanitary back up, if they already have city.
They
I
have
don't
the city
understand
thing,
that.
but they're not reporting it. I guess if so.
But if the
Oh.
rainwater is not going into that sanitary pipe, see, we have combined sewage.
Right,
if-
right.
If it's only the
Right, if there's
sanitation
no
from the
storm
house.
drain, what is causing backup? And that's why you would need to 311 and have DEP
Yeah, somebody has to tell
investigate
you
it
why
and
that's,
confirm it, because you shouldn't be getting backup. And
maybe
if
you need a
are-
backflow.
Right, there's this backflow inhibitor you need, which prevents it from going back into your house. Because the connection between your house and the street, that pipe is yours. That is your responsibility even. And
Emma
so-
has her hand up.
Yes. Seema.
Hi, hi. Thanks for all this conversation. I'm really appalled about this. Nobody owns the street business. Maybe we should file and make the city start owning the street or something, because it's just like
There must be a way to
unlivable.
dedicate it.
It's out.
There must be a process to dedicate it.
Well, then let's start the process, because that's ridiculous to not pave these streets and not take care of the residents. Anyway, I'm outraged. I had a little question about that lead service line business. Do you all know what that is?
Yeah.
That the city was paying for people to do it, but I keep getting told, well, they're not doing it in your area.
No,
Right.
they're only
So
doing
the
it.
program was only certain areas and only people that basically they would send you a notice if you qualify, they would have come to you to be like, we will help you pay for this replacement.
If
For
you didn't
everyone.
get a notice, then it doesn't apply.
And in our district, it was only like,
Uh,
it was like,
oh, no.
it was further south and east. It was not in Riverdale anywhere because it was like by certain like blocks. It was only like a couple blocks that even were in our district.
It
at
was
all.
based on income.
And so what is this service line? Does the city own it or do the home?
No, the property owners own it. Whoever, if single family house or an apartment building, it's the property owner owns the service line from the street to the building. What brings you water and the pipe that goes back out. But really, it's the pipe that brings the water into your building.
Right.
If
Well, I
it's
know my
an old
water.
enough house, it might be lead. They put additives.
It does have lead. Yeah, we did test it, and there is lead.
So right, so then that's fully the responsibility of the property owner to have a contractor replace that. Basically, they dig it up and put in a new pipe,
Okay, good.
and then
All right.
pave it back over. And yeah, and the program was for certain incomes, certain areas. It was
Certain
very
neighborhoods.
small area.
Only certain neighborhoods are gonna have that replaced then. Okay. Now that I'm here, I'll just ask again about a dump site right up the street from me that I've chronically been in touch with the Department of Sanitation and
What's the address?
well, it is the corner of Spencer Avenue and West 260th Street. It's owned by the city. It's was a pass through. There was a
Spencer Avenue?
Spencer
What is the
Avenue.
address, sir?
Spencer Avenue and West 260th Street. It's the corner on the
And West.
260 West 260 Street. So I've been working for about a year to get, what happens is there's cabs that park there and they just toss their garbage. There's urine, there's people dump their
You
dog.
have to keep calling it into 311.
Well,
Exactly.
but
311 that goes to sanitation. Sanitation will come, and if they'll
they won't
collect
clean it up.
And the more
No, they won't. They won't clean it up.
everyone
They don't clean up.
311 it. They do. They'll clean it up once.
Send the
And if
311
it's
to the board.
enough 311s for one area, you can then request like a camera be put there to monitor it, and then they the 50 have to go to.
Yeah, I've already
How
been in
big is
touch.
the area?
I have been in touch with the supervisor. He said we're not doing cameras anymore. He just, there's nothing to do. I usually clean it up every couple weeks. But
Well, this is a good thing for.
yeah, they aren't not responding at all, the sanitation department, because they
Well,
only.
that's true. This is a good one, right? Because this was for ACE. This could be an ACE
Yes.
cleanup location.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we'll reach out to Eric Dinowitz's office. They work with ACE they do some regular routes, and then they
And then
equally can
special
do
routes.
one-time things. So
For like these weird.
let it get bad
Okay.
and report and go to them and talk
Do
to
you
them
have
about it.
pictures you could send us?
I've already sent lots of pictures to
And if
community.
it's a regular area, I mean, it
To
would
us,
be
to the
lovely
board?
if it could be added into a new route, but
But you.
Yeah, I have several. I have big piles of garbage I've cleaned up. I was doing that for a while. I think they got tired of hearing from me because they just said,
Who's they?
it's the two people that answer the phone. What are their names? Ugh.
In someone's office?
The Community Board 8 office. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
didn't
do
hear this.
file 311s.
And then send the 311, email it to the board, because
Did you ever get?
311 is your only paper trail to get things done. If you don't have a 311, you could say I
Oh,
called.
should just call.
It's meaningless to
Yeah, I
them.
would tell.
It's only the 311. That's the tracking for everything that happens.
And for Department of Sanitation, I mean, enough 311s, they really should.
And in your email, say, please pass this to the Environment Sanitation Committee, and then we'll be
Right.
able to.
But
pass
you're
it on
right, you could pass
the
the
council
311s to the board office. They
Yeah,
can
but
follow
we should
with
do
the
that.
311s, because if they're just like closing them, we can be like, well, actually, nothing happened here, and make them come out and respond, because they'll listen to the board office more than maybe the 311 that they quickly closed. because they didn't feel like
My
it.
311 says they close things, but if we can get that number, that tracking
Right.
number.
Well, yeah, I was doing that for a while. I think I have a list of
So
the,
pass those
Yeah.
on, that helps.
I'm
Because
really
showing the
sorry,
list, then
this is
they
a very
know that
bad
they need to
story.
respond to it, exactly.
This is very bad, but we had a meeting, recently with the councilman's office about very hard to clean areas that are just like, not here, not there. No one's got responsibility, and this is something that we
Right.
could pass
'Cause
on.
what is that in front of?
it's well, it's rocks and it's a little bit of woods. It's between, okay, let's see. Now I have to retrieve all my emails and,
Well, you'll send it, don't worry about it.
yeah, no, I've had, there's about
You'll
7 or
send
8
it- No, you'll send,
pictures. Yeah,
you'll send it and ask them to please pass it to, the Environment Sanitation Committee.
okay.
Oh, I see, there's just like green. So it's not, I mean, it's some property.
I mean, I think for a while they were saying things and then I think they just got tired. And then there's a
If it
neighbor that,
belongs to the city, somebody will has to clean. it.
yeah,
clean it.
there's also a neighbor that just he's an old man. He dumps all his yard waste there. And, because he's been doing that since he's probably 90, and who's supposed to clean?
You can just put it out in clear bags and they'll take it with the compost.
Yeah, he won't do that because he's used to
On
putting it in a
compost bag.
wheelbarrow, rolling it down the street and dumping it in this. That's just how he's probably 97.
Well, we're talking about the trash and all those.
Yeah, we're talking more about,
Or the other stuff will break down, but.
Yeah,
trash,
I
garbage
understand that.
Dumping, well, that will never break down.
I
All right,
understand
well, if
that.
nobody
Yeah.
like claims that property, then right, I mean. the
No, it's
normal
owned by the
mechanism-
city. So none of the
Then
neighbors.
it's Department of Sanitation can and does have responsibility to clean it.
Okay, well, he told me they won't clean up small things like litter. They'll only clean up if somebody dumps a whole bunch of contractor bags or something. That's what the
Well, that's where.
supervisor told
Right,
me.
Exactly.
That's,
This is
I mean,
something
I know who the
that's- yeah,
supervisor
exactly.
is and he's a great guy, but yeah. Whoops.
So,
I just
yeah.
want to show, I
Right.
just want to change the topic. There
Okay.
is a process for dedicating an undedicated street.
Oh, okay.
And so first they have to petition the community board, which they really did.
Okay.
And then the community board has to put a thing in that they're supporting it. Then they have to contact the council member and they will be sponsoring it. And then they have to go through ULURP and do a map amendment and get an engineering standards from the DOT. So there happens to be a process that you have to do. Is anybody still on from the
I know,
Arlington?
do that, that sounds great.
Well,
Yeah.
who is, no,
You
who's
have our
not-
support.
No,
There's nobody left on the committee, on the Zoom.
All right,
Yeah.
so
They all left.
we will share this now with them and they.
Oh,
can look at
okay,
this,
yeah.
Exactly, just do it.
That's
I mean,
a good thing. Just
If
take
this
a,
is something that's, maybe his bill's trying to make easier,
This
but
doesn't cost
it can
anything.
still- right, none of
is
this-
Process,
it's-
and if
yeah.
they do nothing, time is still going.
Yeah, right.
So what is the
we
point?
support it, I'm sure Eric would support it, I'm
Yes,
sure.
yes, so
And the land use committee would approve the ULURP and, you just have to, it's a paperwork.
that's all it is.
Just send the link.
If it's too hard for them.
Well, this was
It's,
just
it's,
a-
it's I'm gonna try to copy it. All right, I'm gonna try to
And at the
copy.
bottom there's a copy button.
But there's a
Oh, you're
process.
right, I see it,
Icon in the
okay.
lower left will copy
All
it.
right, the AI did it,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put it in a
That's process,
document.
And that's a process.
Thank you, Karen.
Dedicate it, and then
Yeah.
DOT will have to suddenly care and take
Right.
any responsibility.
Oh,
for it.
and there's all these links also at the end, so it's 2 pages. I'm gonna email it to you, Daniel. It's too bad those people
yeah,
left.
yeah, I don't live in
Yeah,
that.
That's fine, I will share it in the minutes, it will go out.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, she'll be
Whoever
able to
reads it.
see. They'll be able
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see
we'll
that.
put those
Yeah.
in there.
Okay.
But they'll have to
All
get
right,
the
so
rest
you
of the
guys are telling me to continue doing what I've already been doing and it's been getting nowhere is calling 311 and forwarding it to community board and the sanitation is telling me that they don't pick up litter. So I collect it and I put it in my own garbage.
But-
Talk to the
but we're
council
gonna-
member's office,
but
go
We're
from, you
going
talk
to
to him too.
request ACE.
Yeah,
He has a special, but it can't come from SIMA. It's gonna come from us.
Okay, so we'll request it.
In other
This
words,
is
he
on the
came to
list, yeah.
us, he said, oh, if you need us for something,
Tell
let
me.
us know.
Yeah, and we'll tell them.
That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
tell him, we got a complaint, and
We're
we're
gonna tell,
going to help.
what's his name?
Caleb.
Oh, they go around and they go to sites and they clean things up in Riverdale. I think I was reading about that. There's a group of people that do that. That's nice.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that's
I'm
some
wondering,
of that is discretionary funded.
I'm wondering if
That's
it's better to request that they do street cleaning around here because no one cleans up. I mean, it's terrible. You know, people don't
Well,
clean.
let's
You
just
don't
start
ever
with this
want to
about the-
request street cleaning.
Okay, listen,
You don't ever want to request.
Really?
well, people do not want.
Not if you
alternate
value your
side.
life.
People don't want alternate side. They don't want alternate
There are
side.
places without street sweeping?
Yes.
North
They never
British
clean
does not have.
Oh.
Well, no one cleans the street. So
Oh, I love the street sweeper because it means I know that on Tuesday morning I can sweep stuff just right there and it will zoom right by and get it all.
All
And
right,
it's done. It's clean. It's
All right.
perfect.
let's
we
move
don't have-
on with the agenda.
Okay. So
all right,
we're ready.
thank you for
Move on.
letting us talk.
Stabilization in effect. I already said
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
that.
okay.
The only final thing is that DEP announced they are going to start the Tibbetts Brook daylighting this fall.
Yes.
We had a call yesterday.
Yes.
I was not on the call. Karen hopefully was.
I was
And,
on-
She
and
invited
Laura,
me,
and
yeah.
Laura was on the call, and
Yes,
we
so
had
I got
a
the whole
bunch of
thing.
people on the call, and they gave this whole big presentation. They did it really fast. And there's a whole new group of people now that because it's now it's a construction
But it was
project.
recorded, right, Karen? They
It
said
was
it's-
recorded and it'll be up online at some point.
Yeah, it'll be
When
up
they'll
online.
send it to us, Daniel, I'll send you the link and you can throw it in your minutes. And it's I asked them if we could take a look at the stormwater plan. And they were like, oh, well, we're done. I'm like, no, I have to look at it. We have to look at it. And also they have what do they call it? How you the maintenance program. What is it called, Laura? You know, to put what happens when you do construction. And so they said they're gonna do all the work on the site. And I'm like, well, what about the parking for the construction workers? Because they park, you know, everywhere.
Staging.
A staging area. And they're like, oh yeah, I don't know how it's gonna be on the thing because they don't even have enough room for people to walk. And now they're gonna have the staging area there and the materials and all that stuff. Anyhow, that should be part of the stormwater plan. At some point, we'll have a meeting of some sort, I guess. If people are interested. I don't know if you're interested.
I mean, they'll have to have some sort of staging plans, but right. I mean, maybe they can stage where the MTA stores all their trash at the south end.
Yeah, so they said they're gonna start at the south end because they have
do
to,
that pipe first.
because the pipe has to be done first because they don't, otherwise the water is gonna go someplace. They can't undo the dam until they have everything in. So they're gonna start at the bottom and work, you know, all the way up. So in the beginning, they'll have no problem because of that. And of course, David was on the call and he complained about the trash.
Right.
So-
no, and that continues to be an issue and continues to be something that
Right.
you know it would be nice if the MTA did not do their waste transfer right there across from Marble Hill.
Right.
And right, maybe the construction will disrupt that a little.
So I think we should take
Go
I think
further
we
down
should
the
take a
line.
motion. I think we should take a motion to approve these people's petition to whatever I called it. What was it called?
I don't know that they did a petition.
They gotta just do a petition.
It's not a real thing. It's their petition. They're
No, I
petitioning.
know.
They're asking us.
They have to organize and do it, and then we'll approve it.
Listen, let's not get involved with it. Let's just do it 1, 2, 3. All we have to say is that we strongly support
Arlington
their
becoming
petition to dedicate the undedicated street of Arlington Avenue from 252nd to 250.
But is it just Arlington? Is the problem purely Arlington? It's
Yes, it's
Okay,
just
okay.
Arlington. It's just Arlington.
But can we support something that hasn't really come to the board? They have not sent anything to the board saying that they want it to
Right,
be
we
dedicated.
support it.
They want
as
it
soon
fixed.
as they ask us, we will
They have to send
support
it.
it.
Yeah, no, I'm not,
Yeah.
work with them.
I'm gonna work with them.
But I feel like they just need to ask.
Send an
They
email.
need to send something. They're gonna work, I'm gonna work with them. I'm
Yeah.
gonna work with them.
Listen, guys, this is gonna
Let's
be
do
a
this.
long process.
If all of
This is
you
gonna
just
be a
get
long
that
process.
To the councilman's office, to then get bumped to the city, to just
Yeah,
happen.
just that we support it, and then the council
Exactly.
person supports it. I think it's just a simple thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we
Well,
support
it's
it.
not a big
I'm
deal.
gonna work with them.
They have a
just-
street
We will
that's,
support the petition when we get
When
it.
we get it,
Exactly. Yeah,
The
we support it.
Apparently, we haven't gotten it.
We'll get it, and then we support it as soon
And
as we
they-
get
well,
it.
people were not all in agreement on anything. They don't have a group. They have a,
that will be in September.
I know.
Exactly, so
You
fine.
know what?
So I'm gonna work with them over the summer.
Yeah.
And we continue to, and we'll talk to DOT, and we'll talk to DEP.
Emily's gonna work round the clock on
We'll
this.
do all of the things, Karen, as you said, if we do everything, something will help.
Projects.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Emily.
Did
Yeah.
that link that Karen sent with the process spelled out? She could show that, not
Right.
even wait for
Yeah.
minutes or, you know.
Oh,
That-
you want me
Right,
to?
so that
I
for them
sent
to
it to
start
Daniel.
following.
I sent it to Daniel. I sent it to Daniel.
Yeah.
Send it to everybody else and send it to the community board so they know what to do.
I got off in July. I have a project.
No. This is, they'll do it. I mean, when they see.
I object that you guys won't vote on this because I think this, we don't really need, we have enough information. They came, they told us about the flooding, they told us it was undedicated.
No,
The
because
council-
you're making, you're coming up with the plan, and they haven't asked for that. They may find that they just wanna have the street,
Don't worry.
I don't know what they're gonna
crowned
want
in a
that,
certain
Karen.
way.
The cart before
Well-
the horse is not necessary.
I mean, we approve it. We support it. We strongly support it, which is what the wording was there. Let's read the thing. But we strongly support a thing that they haven't asked for yet, or know what they're asking for yet. But if they ask for it and they want it, which they should, I think this is the right,
We got this.
yeah, we got this. We support it. It's fine.
Oh, Sima is here. Oh, she's not on the street.
No,
Right,
different
okay.
street.
It's a different street. She's
Right,
She's
right.
more through, yeah.
Right, right.
No, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so otherwise,
We're good.
I think we're good. Everyone have a good summer?
Excellent.
Yes.
I wanna say thank you before we adjourn.
Thank you all for coming all year.
You know, I wanna thank Daniel.
Yes, yes,
Excellent.
Daniel.
Things, minutes,
This is my
and leadership on this committee.
In other words, you're stuck doing this again next year.
We love you.
Yes,
No,
I think that's what the
appreciate it.
nominating committee listed, so yeah.
Now,
I am.
second your motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Okay.